Got me a brand new daughter and everything. Can't wait to see what you do next year.
Yeah, so hello everyone. We just wanted to start by acknowledging the many people that made a priority to bless Nathan and Emma with gifts, cards, and well wishes, even though they weren't able to join us here tonight. Be blessed by that. Well, you've all probably noticed that Nathan, he is an information guy. We noticed this ability to retain information at a very, very young age. When we used to play, that memory game, you match two cards, flip them, try to match. Well, he could have been more than about 5 when we were just no competition for him anymore. So we had to move on to other games. His gift for retaining information was very helpful, especially when I would take him shopping with me. As we drove to the store, I would start thinking of things that I needed. I didn't have an iPhone where I could say, hey Siri, remind me to whatever. I had a, hey Nathan. I would rattle off things like, okay, water softener, salt, or stamps. Nathan, we need stamps. And when I was done shopping, I would ask Nathan, now what else did we need? And without missing a beat, he would say, water softener, salt, mouse traps, those little corn cob handles, stamps, Mom, we need stamps.
Well, today I think Nathan could probably tell you every Toronto Maple Leaf statistic since the last time they won the Stanley Cup, which, of course, was the year I was born in 1967. But Nathan gained his vast array of information by asking questions. Lots of questions, and from a very young age. I think he's asking me more questions than anyone in my life. On one occasion, my brother-in-law joined Nathan and I in the garage as we worked on a project. And he listened as Nathan asked me one question after another, and then about 90 minutes in, he said he was just amazed at Nathan's relentless pursuit of knowledge at such a young age, and my patience to be able to answer question after question after question. I guess I'm finally ready to admit that those endless Q&A sessions probably meant a lot more to me than they did to Nathan.
And Nathan had a very unique way of asking questions by repeating the question word for extra emphasis. Yeah. What are you doing, Dad? What? Where are you going, Dad? Where? Yeah. How long until you get home, Dad? How long? It didn't matter what Matt was doing, setting up the snowblower, vacuuming the pool, installing a new toilet. Nathan had to be right there working alongside him. And he had there I'm back. He even had a little toy lawnmower that he would push behind Matt as he cut the grass. And whatever Matt did, Nathan had to do the same thing in the same way. On one occasion, I went around the table with a plate offering cookies, fresh baked chocolate chip cookies, of course, to each person. And when I got to Matt, he decided to pass. But Nathan was seated right next to him, of course. And I went on to Nathan and asked if he would like a cookie. He turned to his father and asked, are you sure you don't want a cookie? When Matt said, no, I'm good, I could see Nathan's countenance just drop as he painfully repeated, no thanks.
While Nathan continued to soak up information and learn from all my little business ventures, he developed the entrepreneurial bug at a very young age. When he saw all the worms that accumulated in the bottom of the pool in the spring, he gathered up a dozen of them and had them ready and waiting in a styrofoam cup for next time Mr. Steve came over. Well, Mr. Steve's thriftiness was no match for Nathan's cup of worms and big blue eyes. He earned his first toonie, and as a little tyke, he never looked back. I started him working with cleaning and facilities jobs at Enterprise Software, but before long he was learning IT. He followed me to Creation Ministries where he would hone his skills and his IT skills further. But that would prove not to challenge him enough. Soon after, he was doing facilities and audio engineering at KCF, working at Barb's produce stand, operating an esports business with his future brother-in-law, all at the same time.
And Nathan has always been up for an adventure. We tried to expose him to a lot of different trips with family vacations to Ontario cottages, the East Coast, the West Coast, Florida, Colorado, Texas, and Pennsylvania. But that was not enough for Nathan. So Matt took him on a cruise in the Bahamas with a whole host of Christian artists, but he still wanted more. Not even his international missions trip to Panama and the Dominican Republic would satisfy his appetite for adventure. And at the young age of 15, that's right, 15, he saved up enough to go visit his sister in Australia twice in less than a year. And actually it was about 6 months. Twice.
Yeah. Well, as I snorkeled through the amazing corals and beautiful tropical fish at the Great Barrier Reef, I fixed my gaze on Nathan, who ventured on ahead searching for Nemo. I felt the satisfaction of experiencing a major bucket list milestone before reaching 50, only to realize that it was actually the result of Nathan's persistent vision at only age 15. You see, he was the one who encouraged us to capitalize on this opportunity of a lifetime down under. And his adventures would not stop there. Upon completing SLI, he had a vision for doing an audio engineering internship at Gateway Church in Texas. Now, the fact that the program had been canceled was merely an inconvenience for Nathan, as he arranged for the church to provide a custom internship program for him alone, and for me to accompany him on the drive in exchange for promises of Chick-fil-A. But before he would leave, there was one outstanding order of business.
That is right. And Nathan has always had a heart for his family and a heart for serving, but he also had a heart for a girl that he has known as long as he could remember. And as he contemplated the adventures that awaited him in Texas, the love of his heart in Ontario, in classic Nathan style, he resolved to have his cake and eat it too. So, before leaving for Texas, he pursued Emma with passion, leaving no doubt that she would be anxiously awaiting his return. It's hard for me to believe that the little guy who used to dance and sing with me in the grocery store, it's true, we did that all the time. People looked at us weird, but we had fun. He grew up and now will be the shopping buddy of another woman. But that those big blue eyes that captured my heart have now captured the heart of another. But somehow knowing that this special new woman in his life is Emma made that all the easier for me. Emma, I can say without hesitation that I am glad that you and Nathan are married, and I couldn't be more excited to welcome you into our family.
I wonder if you should warn Emma about Nathan's epic meal requests.
Oh boy, okay, where do I start? Yeah, I mean, Emma, I know that you love to cook, which is great, because you see, Nathan loves to eat. But I just hope that you're prepared for the types of meals that Nathan likes. We let the kids choose all their meals on their birthday, which is very dangerous for Nathan. Well, in my case, for me, not him. It's great for him. These are some actual birthday meals that I prepared upon Nathan's request. For breakfast, how about, he says, if it's not too much trouble, Mom, to make homemade skillet with ground sausage, shredded potatoes, sauteed onions, cheddar cheese, topped up with eggs and hollandaise, and oh yeah, a homemade fruit salad with Tropicana orange juice, and of course, Snickeroo flavored coffee. That's breakfast, okay. For lunch, well, standard lunch, what would you have? Well, maybe a hamburger with grilled onions, sauteed mushrooms, crumbled blue cheese and bacon, served on a brioche bun, and a Smirnoff ice drink. Well, what about snack? What kind of snack would Nathan like? Well, chocolate milkshake would be good. And maybe some homemade chocolate cheesecake balls. Homemade, yes, they have them in the frozen section, but I would prefer the homemade. Made with love. Oh, dinner. Okay, homemade linguine pasta noodles smothered in a homemade gorgonzola cheese sauce, with Caesar salad, with homemade bacon bits and homemade croutons, with homemade bread and chocolate milk, direct from the Abbey Manor farm. Fortunately, I was not asked to source my own cocoa beans or dairy cow. But you know, the king of it all would probably be the dessert, I think, from a couple of birthdays ago. And it was a homemade cake, which is not bad, with a cookie, chocolate chip cookie layer on top of a layer of Oreo cookies, on top of a cheesecake layer, on top of another layer of Oreo cookies, all framed within the walls and foundation made from brownies.
You know, ever since the time we welcomed Nathan into this world, we've had the pleasure of knowing Emma. Her sweet and gentle disposition are clearly the reflection of the parents who loved her unconditionally. Jeff and Brenda, it was a privilege to have you at our own wedding. Who would have thought we'd be here 28 years later with our children getting married and celebrating their marriage together? Well, you spent decades teaching and serving kids, and we're so thankful for the values that you've instilled into Emma and incidentally into all of our kids. Thank you for sharing your daughter with us, and we're thrilled to be able to count you as part of our family. Nathan, I'm so proud of the man that you have become. Despite the incredible amount of information that you retain, you're still quick to say, "What are your thoughts about this, Dad?" Despite your extreme confidence, you're still quick to admit when you're wrong. And although you no longer follow me around everywhere I go, you still take a piece of me with you. Quite literally, actually, as you love to wear my high school wrestling jacket, which has somehow made it back in style. I know that I ride you a lot about wearing it all the time, but I have a confession to make. When I see you walking around with Matt on your shoulder, I couldn't be more proud.
So Nathan, I was able to get some repairs made to the jacket and have it dry cleaned and prepared for you, along with a framed photo both of you and Dad wearing this. And before he gives it to you, we want to ask you a few questions. Get the props ready.
In closing, our last questions. Nathan, where did the last 21 years go? Where?
Nathan, why did you have to grow up so fast? Why?
And when, Nathan? When? When will the Leafs win the Stanley Cup? Congratulations.